Okay, we are the Faithful Aviators, and we are going to show you how to do your pre-flight checkoff on a single engine aircraft, okay? And this is our instructor, Miss Terry Tugman.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We are going to take a flight, but we have to the checklist always first, and we're going to go really slow.
We're gonna get a look at that real quick.
Okay, let me see. You want this side, and all those things matter. Some of them doesn't apply to this plane.
I'm gonna get a still shot of it. There we go. And picture. And picture. You can zoom in on that on the video if you need to and capture. Okay.
Okay, I'm going to tell you about Betsy. This is Betsy. She is a 1956 Cessna, a 172, and she is really coveted because of the straight tail. There's not very many of those left, and she's got a straight tail, which makes her more stable and a better plane to train people in. Because she is so stable, so stable. She just pretty much just, you know, you got things to do, but she just kind of takes care of you in the air. So she has got some different things on her that you won't see on other planes because she is old. But anybody that sees Betsy, doesn't matter where I'm at, will try to buy her because of the straight tail. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna follow the checklist exactly. You can follow it on yours. And the very first part is the initial. So the very first thing you should have done is weather. You should have, if you don't have ForeFlight, get on some kind of weather, some kind of aviation weather, and check your ForeFlight, your density altitude. We'll talk about that later. Your weight and balance. You should have all these papers in the airplane that tells you the weight and balance. But you look at this. Your flight plan, where are you going? Your papers, arrow is ARROW. So, Amy, do you remember what the ARROW means?
No, what does that mean?
Yeah, you got to check things. So this is airworthy. So let's go over here inside of Betsy. And we're going to go slow because I want you to understand that if we go too fast, you're going to say, what does she mean by that? So I carry my credentials right here in my pocket there. And this is her owner's manual. And so inside here, it has your weight and balance report. And so Betsy can have, see, this is all weight and balance, and you don't understand that yet.
And that is for this plane?
For this plane only,
okay.
Yeah. Because she's been weighed, every plane, anytime you take something off of it, like you take out an instrument and you put another one in, she's got to be reweighed.
Okay.
And the scales, they actually put them underneath both tires, and they do that. So our useful load, which means this is with fuel in there, we have 700, without fuel, we have 700 pounds that we can put in there. So 3 good-sized adults can fly. And then...
Well, wait a minute. That says 659.
Mm-hmm.
And you said 700.
Well, 700 is, you can do up to 50 pounds over.
50? Okay, that's...
On Betsy, not every plane. On Betsy, you can go 50 pounds over.
Okay.
But this is the legal thing. So, nobody's going to check you on that. But this is the airworthy certificate, airworthiness, and it's there. It's whenever, see, September 22, 1956, that's the day that she was issued her airworthy certificate.
Oh, okay.
So that's when she was born. So, and she was number 282 on the line where they were putting the parts on.
And that has to be in your plane?
In your plane at all times. If you have what we call a ramp check, if an FAA person wants to come and check your plane out to make sure you're legal, they're going to say, where's your certificate of airworthiness?
What if I want to buy a plane and it doesn't have that in there?
Don't buy it. Leave it alone.
Can I get it if it's not there?
You can, but you're going to have A&P come out and make sure she is airworthy. Then I'm not sure how the A&P does that. That's your aircraft and your A&P mechanic. It's their airframe and it's airframe and power plant. So it's all your frame and your power plant, which is your engine.
Okay.
So they go through that once a year, and they can tell you whether your plane is airworthy or not. So you have to have this in your plane.
Okay.
You have to have your weight and balance, and then you have to have what we call the POH. Oops, there we go. And this, sorry. Okay, and you have to have your registration. Okay, that's the A. Okay, your A, let me go back to get the airworthiness certificate. Okay, on Aero, A is for your airworthiness, okay? Okay, R is for your registration, which that's right here. And this is registered to my husband and me. This plane belongs to us. That's your registration, belongs to Amy. She's part of this.
If that isn't in the plane, is that bad?
If this is not in the plane, all these things are not in the plane, they can ground you.
Okay.
And you will get a huge fine.
Okay.
And they can pull you in any airport. You fly in there, they just look out there and say, let's just go check and see if she's got her Aero. Her airworthiness, her R is for her registration, ARR.
Well, hang on a minute.
Okay.
The name on that is your name.
Okay.
But I'm borrowing your plane and something goes wrong with it. Is it your fault or my fault that something went wrong because your name's on that registration?
The owner's fault.
The owner's
The
fault.
owner's fault.
And that is a test question, just FYI.
Yeah, it is. That's definitely the owner's fault. You are pilot in command. You're a PIC, which is pilot in command. And if you go out there and you see that something, you look at the plane, you see that something's wrong, check with the owner, make sure that she or he has everything up to date. And if you borrow or fly somebody else's plane, if something actually went wrong on it that was mechanical, that could have been checked and fixed before you rented that plane, it's definitely the owner's fault.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not good for them. Okay, so let's go back. So A is for the airworthiness. That's your certificate. And then your R is for your registration, ARO. O is for your operator manual.
Operator manual, check.
Yep, your operator's manual. Let's see, OW is for your weight and balance.
Check.
And so you have all these things in your plane at all times. Now, I will tell you there's a problem here. Some people have all these in there and they're good and they've got everything out there, but they don't have a checklist. If you get in an airplane and somebody doesn't use this checklist, get out. I don't care how long they've been flying. It does not matter. There's one of these things can be, you know, out of pocket and they just jump in there like our fuel. We're gonna check that in a minute. That's the next thing to check. So if you're not using your checklist, and I'm not playing with this, if you don't see them, they say, well, I checked it out already. Ask them to wait till you get there so you can watch them do it. And then ask them questions. How does this work? Why is this? You're a student. You need to know all these things. So we're gonna take it super, super slow. I mean, really, really slow. Are we pausing?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, we're good.
Okay, so I'm gonna put all this stuff back in right where I got it. So if I am ever checked, it's called a ramp check. It's like being pulled over by a cop. And FAA can ground you. If they see something they're not happy about, they'll ground you, then you have to prove that that's been checked or whatever.
Can the police pull you over?
They can, but they can't. Yes, they can. They can pull you over, but they can't. Like you have your logbook. Your logbook does not have to be with you, but a cop can pull you over. That's a test question. They can, but they can't like give you an FAA ticket. Oh, there's. Okay, so let's start with the checklist. Okay, so we did our Aero. All right, performance, your flight plan. That's where you file that, and that's way past what we're doing here. Right now, we're just doing the checklist of Betsy, the exterior and the interior. This stuff here should be done before you ever get in that plane. And then you'll be able to turn your master switch on because we're gonna do that and check lights. So, your fuel quantity, that's extremely important. The way you check the fuel, and everything, everybody's different. But the way you check Betsy's, if Amy, you'll look right up there above the pilot's head. That's on both sides. And your fuel is in your wings. So that wing there has, I can't see it, what does it have?
Three quarters of a tank.
Okay, so you got about 15 gallons over there. Because each wing in Betsy holds 20 gallons.
And there's
About-
the other one on this side, same thing, is 3/4
Yeah,
full.
about
Okay.
18 gallons usable. Because there's 2 gallons, 1.5 gallons will be in the bottom of the tank. Okay, let's go out here. All right, so.
Hang on just a second, I'm gonna pause it. See, I don't even know how to pause it. Just a second, me.
I think you
don't
just
want to trip over
hit
this.
Yeah, don't do that.
Okay, all right, we're good.
Okay, So again, this is Betsy, and everybody knows Betsy, no matter where I fly. Now, we didn't clean her up right now because Amy's got a doctor's appointment, but we're making this real. Okay, we're not going to, you know, if we make a mistake, we'll come back and correct it. If something I should have said, I'll correct it. Okay, so I'm still on checking it. So I checked my fuel quantity and the fuel quality. Now Betsy's, another thing that's good about Betsy is Betsy can use regular gas. And we have a tank right over there that we haul our gas in, and we don't have to use aviation fuel. You can, if you go to an airport and you land and you need fuel, you put aviation fuel in it. They don't hardly ever have just regular gas, but it's a whole lot cheaper to fly her. Costs us about $35 an hour in fuel. So that's another reason why everybody likes Betsy.
Does that change? Cheap. Does that change based on the wind? Does it change how much?
Oh, sure. If you have a headwind, you're going to use more fuel.
Use more fuel.
Yeah,
so it's going to be more than $35 an hour.
Yeah, maybe 37. It's not going to be, unless you've got a major headwind. And if I have a major headwind, I don't go. I mean, I'm just one of those straight and level pilots, and I don't do anything stupid. And this is why I stay with the checklist, because if somebody asks me, did you check the checklist? I can say, yes, I did. So, and I go through all of it. Okay, so over here, they want us, this is where you open up to get in the engine. Right there, pull that down. And if you look right in here, I don't know if you can see in there, this is where you put your oil. And then this right here is where you check your oil. And another thing you want to do, and I'm not going to pull that out, but another thing you want to do is you want to look in there and make sure all your wires look like they did whenever you first got it. You want to look down there. There's a nose gear down there that you have to check. And then you need to pat the top of your airplane, because birds go in there and they make nests. And so that's an automatic fire for you. You don't want to fire on board. So, yep, it looks good. This is your battery, and we'll go through all those parts later. So you want to, I would check the oil before I left, and she carries 7 quarts, and we do, every 50 miles, we do another oil change. Don't have to.
Every how many miles?
50 hours, sorry, not miles, 50 hours.
50 hours, correct. Okay.
Thanks for asking. Every 50 hours, okay? And I'll explain this in just a minute. So we're going to just go with what we've got right now. So fuel, we got all that done. Okay, so now that wants us to check the lights. So we're going to check. I've got to turn the master switch on and turn all my lights on.
Wait. We need to see you do that.
Okay. This is the master switch. Can you see that? Okay, in Betsy, not all planes. You're going to turn on the master switch. Your beacon is the tail of the plane. It's not on, there you go. This is your nav lights, which are on the wing tips, and we pull that twice so they'll blink. And then this is your landing lights, but you want to check everything. Okay. So now we've got everything on. Let's go out here and show you what they are. Right behind you here, that's your beacon. That's you. Legally, you have to have that on day or night. And if that's not working, you will stay on the ground. That's so other airplanes can see you. Yep, that goes all the time.
It's blinking.
You can see the tail light back there, on the very back there. That's not really a tail light. That is, oh gosh, I can't think of the name of it right now. But that's what puts us on radar. And you can see other planes because of that. And that's required if you go into any kind of controlled airspace. Talk about that later. Let's go by the checklist. Okay, so we got the lights. Let's keep going over here. If you look down at the end, Amy, at the end here, you'll see a blinking light, and it's red. Okay?
Okay.
See that?
Yes, ma'am.
And that's your left wing. And down on your right wing will be a blue light. It doesn't matter if it's blinking or not. And this one does not blink because that was the one that blinked that had that, which was $500 for that. It broke. And so we had to put the other one on, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to blink. It just has to be aware.
It has to be on, correct?
It does not have to be on the daytime. The only thing that has to be on the daytime is your beacon. Okay, this is your landing lights, and they're only on one wing, on Betsy. That's the only landing lights we have.
Okay, and those are on.
Yes. And this is your stall button, and it's electric, so I'll tell you that in a minute. Hear that
Yep.
Sound, okay. And that, I'm gonna turn everything off now. We saw all the lights. We saw the nav lights, the beacon, the landing lights, and the stall button. Every plane is different, guys. It's, you know, you may not have a stall button there. It may not be electric. So you may not be able to check it until you get in the air and just pull up on your plane. Okay, this is your airspeed right here. That's gonna open, and that's gonna tell you how fast you're going. So that's why you want to check that to make sure this was covered the whole time and Dirt Dauber hadn't made his nest in there.
Okay.
All right, so that's super, super important. Okay, back to checklist. Okay. All right, your engine oil, we just told you about that. And your prop, so what you're gonna do in your prop, you come down through here and you're gonna rub each side of it like this. And if you have any nicks or anything in there, you wanna get those filed out. But you shouldn't have. I mean, if you just flew, you shouldn't have anything like that. But you always check. Always. Does not matter. So now we're on the exhaust system. It's good, I know, because the only exhaust system you have is right underneath there, but I don't even think we can get to it. No, I'm sorry, Amy, it's right here in the front. This is your exhaust.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, and it's good.
Okay. What would be bad?
If it was loose.
If it was loose, okay,
yeah.
okay.
And if it's loose, it's probably gonna put stuff inside the plane.
Okay.
Okay, and then they say here, what you wanna do next is you wanna check all your surface and controls. So we did the saw indicator already, surface and controls. So you just wanna go down through here and just look and make sure. You want to tap this again to make sure you don't have any birds that have come in here. And they do it all the time. So you always have to check for that. Is it dangerous? Yeah, because if they put a nest in there and they can put a big one in there overnight, and it'll start a fire. So that's why you do your checklist, everybody, okay? So this is our vacuum system, and this is old school. So wherever you have to have a vacuum system to run some of your instruments. Well, this is old school. Air goes in through here, and it starts 3 instruments in there. So on the regular planes, this is old. This is not controlled by electricity or anything. This works by itself, which is great. Because if if
you ever lose your electric,
if your electric goes out, you still got this. So you got this to go. All right. So you were still looking at surfaces. So we're just looking through here. Check the tires in a minute. We're just making sure everything looks good. Okay. Go there, look down the plane, make sure nobody's hit it, because if you park somewhere and go in to eat and somebody hit the plane, you need to know about that. Okay, we'll talk about this stuff right now. We're just looking at the surfaces. We can get around that way when we look down through there. Okay, everything looks good.
okay?
Okay, now what we're gonna do is something that I do on Betsy that most people don't have to do. Is I come over here on our ailerons, which we'll talk about that in a minute, and I push these up. You come on this side, eh? And then you got these holes here where you get wasp nests and birds. Sorry, there's a plane taking off. But right here, underneath here, you've got a pin. You got 3 of them, one here, and one down there. You want to make sure this aileron is secure, so you open it up and make sure that all the pins are in. And you do that on both sides. Okay. And then another thing you do on Betsy that most people don't have to do. Remember, she's old. You're going to come up here and you're going to grab this and watch your plane over there. You're just going to rock it. Just make sure everything looks good. Nothing looks like it's slipping or anything. And you do that to both sides also. That's something from Betsy. Okay, tires. You want in your main, you want 21 in Betsy. You want 21 PSI, and back here you want 24 on these. So, fire walk around, baggage. Baggage is just behind the seat on this one. Okay, so now we're going to you want to just stop there, or you want me to go ahead and do that?
We're good first.
Well, let's check the rudders and stuff.
Oh yeah, rudders. Yeah, let's do that.
That's good. Okay. Do you have that little plane?
No,
Here's one, I guess.
okay.
This is a fat little Betsy. Okay, so what we're checking here, and this is a high wing, what we're checking here, this is your oh my gosh, your flaps. And so no, it's not. This is your elevator, sorry, I don't know. And what I'm actually checking here is, see these right here? That's what holds that together, right inside there. See that moving? Everything's still hooked up, right? Do it one more time. Okay, you see that there? Yep. Okay. Now, and then you have your rudder, which causes your plane to do this. It's called yaw. When you hit your rudder, you want to turn right or left, and instead of turning like this, using your ailerons, you're going to just use your rudders, and those are at your feet, which will cause you to go right or left in the air. So sometimes if you don't need to do a big turn, you got plenty of time, just use your rudders.
And the rudder's where?
Here, this is your rudder.
Okay.
Yep. And this is your vertical stabilizer. The thing that's so important to Betsy, that keeps her more stable than they thought if they leaned it back. I don't know why they thought that, but they decided that they should have never went to that. So here's your elevator. Now your elevator causes your plane to go up or down. So when I pull back on the yoke or the steering wheel, when I pull back on it, she's going to climb. So when I pull back on it, she's going to, the elevator's going to go down so I can go up. And then if she wants to go
Now the
down,
elevator is this whole big piece right
yes,
here?
on both sides.
Okay, this whole big back
big
part of the
piece.
wing. Okay,
Yes.
not this little piece.
No, that's trim.
Okay.
So we'll talk about that in a minute. So the elevator, so if I want to go down, I push my yoke in, and this will come up, and it'll cause the plane to start going down.
Okay.
So there you go. Now this is the trim. The trim is in the plane, and what the trim does, it's like an automatic pilot, like a like a poor man's automatic pilot. Bigger planes, you just push a button. So I'll get Betsy where I want her, and then right beside me, I'll show you in a minute where that is. Get her where I want her, and then I'll lock her in right there, and so she'll stay at that, right there where she's at, that elevation and just straight, okay? So this is a trim. This right here is called the vertical stabilizer. No, I'm sorry, horizontal stabilizer, right here. Both sides. That's the stability of the airplane. Okay, let's go back around this way. Okay, up here we have what we call flaps. Now, these are flaps on both sides. We'll just do one side. I can't do that in here, but I'll drop them in here. Show them where I drop them in. Betsy has flaps that are on the floor. That's this big long hole here. And I push this button in. Watch your head. I'm going to pull those down. There we go. And so the flaps actually turns the airplane. Okay? These are your flaps.
Okay.
On your flaps, the only thing you check is this right here. You don't want that to be tight. You want it to be loose on both sides. We're just going to do one side.
Okay.
So these are your flaps. Now, if you want your plane to turn to the left, notice, the flaps are down, okay? If you want your plane, watch the flaps, right? Here's the yoke. Here's the yoke. You want to show them that? Oh. This is like your steering wheel. This is what causes you to go up or down. Now, when I turn it to look right here. Look at watch your, that's the flaps, it's up and down. Watch that right there.
Okay.
No, good.
Oh.
Watch this. Look at the yoke. I'm going to bring this up. See, that's turning to the left. This one is up. Okay. See that too? Yeah.
That one's down.
Yep. And that will be turning to the left.
Okay.
But let me turn to the right, and y'all watch. Right now, I've lost what that is. That's why it's so real. So I'm going to turn. And that's turning to the right. I'm going to turn to the left. Now watch your. I might go there and do it. Stay there.
Oh, go do it again. She's moving the wing on the right side, and that. that turns right or left. All right, and that is our check off for Betsy. We appreciate you watching the video. If you have any questions, please put them down below, and we'll try to get back with you and answer them. Thank you, and have a blessed day.